The New Jersey Turnpike has claimed another life, this time in a hit-and-run accident of an NYPD officer early Monday morning. Off-duty NYPD officer Vincent Harrison was driving southbound at around 3 a.m. near the Newark International Airport, where near milepost 102.5, his Chevy Cruze collided with a Ford Escape. Now, the disabled Ford ended up in the right-to-right center lanes, and Officer Harrison's car, the Chevy Cruze, ended up in the right shoulder. Now, it's reported that Harrison then exited his vehicle and made his way towards the disabled Ford in the right-to-right center lane. Just then, an Infiniti drove up, hitting Officer Harrison, and sped off. He was pronounced dead at the scene at 3:28 a.m. Union County prosecutor and the New Jersey State Police have released some details that don't really clarify what happened, but rather raise more questions to us. Now, their investigators said that Harrison may have exchanged some words with the driver of the Ford and actually had his gun drawn in the middle of the New Jersey Turnpike at 3 a.m., right before he was struck by the Infiniti. The hit-and-run driver, William Espinal Mejia, he turned himself in hours later and has been charged with second-degree leaving the scene of a fatal accident. He is being held on $100,000 bail at the moment. Officer Harrison was well-liked and well-loved by the community and the 100th Precinct in New York. He worked in Queens, has tweeted out this message to let them know how much they miss him.
Thanks, Rohan.
All right, see you guys.
Guys, we're joined by former NYPD Detective Joe Giacalone, who I hope can shed some light on a lot of the questions that are out there. Joe, welcome back to Chasing News.
Thanks for having me, bro.
So, Joe, first question I have is you've got a police officer that is killed by a hit-and-run driver, and some of the reports are saying he may have had his gun drawn, he may have had exchanged words with the other driver. What would have been the appropriate way for an officer to handle that if, in fact, that did happen?
I mean, he got hit by a car, which could have also, we also have to think that, the gun could have just been shot off his body when he was on the impact of the accident. So that's something that has to be looked at unless we have an eyewitness that says he had his gun out. The person who hit him fled the scene. So this is something else that we're going to have to be concerned about. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. What did people see? What can't they see? And unfortunately, we're never going to really know.
How will they go through with the investigation, though? I mean, I got to believe, like, people have this image, I think, that they watch a lot of television, they see CSI, and they think, wait a minute, we could just reenact the entire thing and know exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. I mean, the problem is that we have somebody who did flee the scene. So we whatever he says, we're not going to be able to use.
I'm sick and tired of seeing police officers with their guns drawn, thinking they're invincible.
This is a guy who's pulling over and trying to lend a hand because he wears the badge 24 hours a day. He was getting into that situation because he was trying to do some good.
So, Joe, you heard it all. What do you make of it? And, I guess I'm still perplexed at why he got out in the middle of the highway and why not on the side of the road.
The issue that comes down to is that he was trying to do good. And listen, telling officers when they can take their gun out and when they can't is a very dangerous game. I mean, there's something that must have spooked him into the fact that if he did have his gun out, he had it out for a good reason. Car stops are very dangerous. Many police officers do die during car stops, and not just from accidents. They just, this is something, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There's not a lot of witnesses around, and some of these bad guys will try to take that cop out.
Right. Oh, man. Well, more to come. Our thoughts and prayers certainly with the officer's family.
Yes.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
You got it. Take care, guys. Bye.